Christian Cape, also known as Kaunda, of Pomerose, who resided at Bellevue St. David, passed away on Wednesday 9th June 2021 at the age of 43. He was the father of Casa and Cordutu Cape, son of Annabel Pear and Eric Ambrose, stepson of Ishmael Pear and Roseanne Ambrose, brother of Darren, Leslie and Simone Pear, and Erica Ambrose in the USA, grandson of Viola Lambert, uncle of Josiah and Amoni Romaine, brother-in-law of Calvin, aunts including Joan and Angela in Trinidad, Joy, Anna, Cossil, Greta, Jean, Dora, Alice, Sandra, Wendy, and many others. Uncles including Michael, Andy, Alistair, Ignatius, Dominic, and many others. Caregiver Curlin Batiste and family. Other friends and relatives including Leanna, Davis, Nigel, Alistair, Kellon, the Ambrose family, the Lambert family, the Pear family, the Peters family, the Pascal family and the Mongo family, the Kingston family, the Sylvester family, the Bain family, and the class of St. Andrew's Anglican Secondary School SARS 1996. The funeral service and interment of the late Christian Cape, also known as Kaunda of Pomerose, who resided at Bellevue St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Selwyn Frederick, also known as Cello and Comfort, of Grove Estate St. John, former Grand Master of the Mizpah Lodge, passed away on Thursday 27th May 2021 at the age of 76. He was the husband of Ophelia Frederick, father of Selwyn Jr., Angelo, Naomi, Berylan, Alva, Jennifer, Inette, Samantha, Wayne, Pansy, and Sandra. Grandfather of 36 including Raynell, Rayona, Ranaya, Savani, Shay, Jahim, Jamal, and Sherwin. Great-grandfather of 20. Brother of Patricia and Brenda Frederick in Canada, Jocelyn Bonaparte in England, Martha Franklin in Trinidad, and Hessie John in Grenada. Brother-in-law of Martin and Larry. Father-in-law of Denise, Alan, Jimmy, Edwin, and Jerry. Nephew of Madonna Harry. Uncle of many. Godfather of Crispin Alexis, Kenrick Harper, and Clemrick Barry. Many cousins, other relatives, and close friends including the Harry, Benjamin, and Frederick families of St. Patrick and St. Mark, Leonard Leo Augustine, Bernard Beau Augustine, Rupert, Peter Largo, Mr. Bernard Matthew, members of the Mizpah Lodge, and friends and neighbors of Florida, Brothers, Concord, Grand Roy, Dr. Bell, Happy Hill, Market Square, Grove Estate, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Selwyn Frederick, also known as Cello and Comfort, of Grove Estate St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
Leroy George Emmanuel Simon, also known as Palo, a well-known electrician of St. Patrick, resided at Mount Panasa, St. George, passed away on Monday, 7th June, at the age of 87. He was the father of Joanna Eldridge, Alex Simon, Leslie Osborne, Alan Simon, and Tessa Oliver. Grandfather of 15, great-grandfather of 6, brother of Jocelyn and Jean Simon, Phyllis Andrew, Glennis Jeffrey, Vincent McSween, Malcolm Alexis, and Costa Jeffrey. Father-in-law of Anthony Lewis, Richie Oliver, Joseph Eldridge, Farley Osborne, and Berlin Simon. Many nieces, nephews, other relatives and friends including Renald Benjamin, Densley Moraine, Teresa Charles, Clarissa and Dujana Alexander, Cyril Hazard, the Frantic family, the Simon, Cato and Logie families of Chantamel, St. David and Satez, the McQueen, Maureen and Bayer families, friends and neighbors of Montparnasse, Tempe and Satez. The funeral for the late Leroy George Emmanuel Simon of Satez St. Patrick, who resided at Montparnasse St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
St. Louis Joseph Collins, also known as PC, Pappy, and Chief, of Mount Plaisir St. John, former superintendent of Her Majesty's Prisons, passed away on Saturday 15th May 2021 at the age of 78. He was the husband of Claudette, father of Lester, also known as Papa in the USA, Leisha in Canada, Marlon, Licia, Trevor and Travis in Grenada, grandfather of Xavier, Kason, Joshua, Josiah, Zanaya, Tevez, Kaelin, Kirana and Shamar, stepfather of Lloyd, Aisha and Hayden, brother of Vernal, father-in-law of Chanel, brother-in-law of Vernis, Lasita, Agatha, Veronica, Bernadette, Athalie, John, Leon and Randy. Many nieces and nephews in Grenada, Trinidad, the United Kingdom and the USA, including Desiree, Rita, Cecil, Val, Simeon, Michelle, Dean, Ella, Judith, Angela, Patricia, Moncam, Jilka and Rosamond. Many relatives and close friends, including the Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell and family, the Collins family of Grand Roy and surrounding areas, members of the Mizpah Lodge Grove, Commissioner and staff of Her Majesty's Prisons, the Cador family of Grand Roy, Joan Antwine and family of Springs, the Antwine family of Windsor Forest, Dr. Byron Caliste, Daniel Thomas and family, Pansy Joseph and family, the Hackett, Modeste, Moses, Patterson and Batiste families, Christine, Jacqueline and Donis, Miss Whiteman at L.A. Purcell, the Alexander, Charles and Watts families of Brazan and Beausejour, and friends and neighbors of Mount Plaisir, Grand Roy, Concord and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late St. Louis Joseph Collins, also known as PC, Pappy and Chief of Mount Plaisir St. John, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Lydia Francis, also known as Debbie of Cherry Hill St. George, who resided at Mount Parnassus, a retired chief public health nurse in Grenada, passed away on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 in the USA at the age of 61. She was the loving wife of David Francis, mother of Dr. Lynn Dave Francis Frank and Dalen Francis, stepmother of Karen Shea, grandmother of Joshua and Matthew Frank and Solana Shea, daughter of Elizabeth Otley, sister of Andre Frederick, Anne-Marie Bartholomew and Desiree Mackenzie, adopted sister of Bernadette Gittins and Derek St. Bernard, mother-in-law of Kevin Frank, aunt of Cody Bartholomew and Tristan John, sister-in-law of Cecil Bartholomew, Priscilla and Hensley Francis, Annon, Arthur and Louise McQueen. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends including Dylan Noel, Grantley Toussaint, Amanda Gittins Batiste and family, Renee and Randall Gittins and family, the Clouden family of Archibald Avenue, Nurse Marina Bedeau and family, Nelsia Maxime and family, friends from the Rupert Bishop nursing class of 1980, her colleagues within the Ministry of Health, Nurse Charles, and friends and neighbors of Grand Roy, Cherry Hill, Mount Parnassus, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Lydia Francis, also known as Debbie, of Cherry Hill, who resided at Mount Parnassus St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes.
Edward Gabriel Modeste of Victoria St. Mark passed away on Wednesday, 26th May, at the age of 77. He was the brother of Sable Charles, Millicent Straker, Rosalind Modeste, Marge Humphrey, Clarice Modeste Cohen, Septimus Modeste, Edgar and Philip Modeste, brother-in-law of Mava and Cornice Modeste, and Thompson Telesford, uncle of many including Molly Ann Ferrer, Hazelland Purcell, Alice Felix, Jean Darbo, Charlene Paul, Albert Modeste, Dexter Charles, Edwin Modeste, Denzel Edwards, and Bevan McIntosh. Many cousins, other relatives and close friends including Danny Humphrey, Deborah Wilson, Kelmon, Lambert, Nurse Simon, Daphne, Kelly and the Forsyth family, Drayton, Choiceman, friends and neighbors of Diamond and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Edward Gabriel Modeste of Victoria St. Mark will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Home. Margaret Duncan Abraham, also known as Beverly of Grand Roy St. John, who resided in Miami, Florida, passed away on Friday, 21st May, at the age of 69. She was the wife of Ian Abraham of Grand Roy. She was a mother of Sean, Shamika Abraham, and Yolanda Grant of Miami, grandmother of Jalen Abraham and Eden Grant, mother-in-law of Joseph Grant. She was the sister of Beatrice Duncan, Lloyd Lewis, and Evelyn Pear of Marigot, Jermaine Duncan of Grand Roy, Hector Pear of St. David, and Jerifel Richmond in St. Croix, sister-in-law of John Abraham, Francis Abraham, Simpson Judah Thomas, Jeffrey Charlie Simon, Nancy Henry, and Ricky Ross. Several nieces and nephews from the Duncan, Lindor, Richmond, Pear, Lewis, Edwards, Augustine, Abraham, and De Souza families. Many cousins, relatives, and close friends including Teresa McCollin of New York, Catherine Bascom, and Keith Duncan of Miami, Reynald and Ingrid Duncan of Trinidad, Alden Cadeau of Grand Roy, friends and neighbors of Grand Roy and surrounding areas. The funeral of the late Margaret Duncan Abraham of Grand Roy St. John, who resided in Miami, Florida, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lockwell Brothers Funeral Home. Cecil Raphael Lewis, also known as Reggae, of New Hampshire St. George, passed away on Saturday, 12 June, at the age of 64. He was the father of Chevon, Kevin, Kevon, Jimmy, Dubai, Hannah, Ketisha, Ronell, Corey, Kendra, and Keron. Grandfather of 16 including Brittany, Jaheim, Jaylene, Tiffany, Jemiah, and Jayla. Father-in-law of Marvin Corian, Alvin Douglas, Nigel George, Sean Frame, and Tamara Smith. Brother of Lincoln Victor, Catherine Victor Edwards, Melita Samuel, Constance Tompkin, and Gemma Johnson. Brother-in-law of Henry, Dale, and Godwin. Adopted son of Clementina Braveboy. Uncle of many including Linton, Camille, Sharon, Chantal, Allison, Shamika, Chanel, and Shaba. Close friend of Alice. His caregiver, Geraldine. Many other relatives and close friends including members of the Northeast Bus Association, Wilmark, Pastor James, Brendan, the Samuel family of New Hampshire, the Lewis family of Concord and Willis, Braveboy and Smith families, pastor and members of the New Hampshire Seventh-day Adventist Church, and Wallace Memorial Pentecostal, the Boys on the Block, friends and neighbors of New Hampshire and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Cecil Raphael Lewis of New Hampshire St. George will be held privately. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lockwell Brothers Funeral Home.
Nicodemus Mosley Hazard of Vincent St. David, who resided in Trinidad, died on Tuesday, 15th June 2021 at the age of 74. Left to mourn are his 2 children, Sandy and Sean Hazard, 6 grandchildren, all in Trinidad. His sister, Mrs. Jean Hazard of Vincent's. Many other relatives and friends in Grenada and Trinidad, too numerous to mention. The funeral of the late Nicodemus Mosley Hazard of Vincent St. David, who resided in Trinidad, will take place in Trinidad. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Venita Telesford Lambert, also known as Venet, of Windsor Forest, St. David, died on June 18, 2021, at the age of 74. She is survived by her children Jeffrey, Roger, Eric, and Bernard Telesford, and Stacy Modeste. Brothers and sisters Olive Paul, Anne, Kyron, Fabian, and Teresa Telesford. Daughters-in-law Nathalie Bruce, Valerie Campbell, Brenda Lee Telesford, and Marva Henry. Son-in-law Kim Modeste. 17 grandchildren including Akima, Nathan, Jaden, Chanel, Kelshon, Jeffon, Ashley, Aaliyah, Dante, and Joshua. 2 great-grandchildren. Many nieces and nephews. Other relatives and friends including Michael Jaffier, Lawrence Blair, Stanley Buckmeyer, her caretaker Marcel Belgrave, and the Telesford, Brazan, and Paul families. Mother Louisa and members of the Mount Olivet Spiritual Baptist Church, and close friends and neighbors of Carriacou, Windsor Forest, and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Venita Telesford Lambert, also known as Venit, of Windsor Forest, St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bowley, Crow and Paulo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley, St. George, passed away on Sunday, June 20th, 2021, at the age of 69. The funeral arrangements for the late Kenrick Lewis, also known as Bowley, Crow and Paulo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, who resided at Grand Anse Valley, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Cynthia Teresa Lucy Langdon Gary of Harford Village, St. Andrew, passed away on Monday, 14th June 2021 in Brooklyn, New York, at the age of 85. She was the mother of Eugene, also known as Tinning, Selma and Desmond, also known as Bob and Pirate in the USA, Velma in Barbados, Roland Harford, Sherma and ASP Richard Langdon of the Royal Grenadier Police Force, grandmother of Reneel, Renelma, Renelson, Marcel, Akim and Shane in the USA, Jeremy in Canada, Jewel Harford in the Royal Grenadier Police Force, Laverne, Rochelle, Raquel, Ramon, Tracy and Isaiah in Grenada, Maxwell in Tortola, Daniel in Cuba, Anderson and Lee Langdon in Barbados. Great-grandmother of 17, adopted mother of Nyla, also known as Baby, mother-in-law of Jeanette, Diane, Bernice Harford, and Deborah Langdon. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Louise Felix and family, the Gill, Mitchell and Langdon families of Harford Village, the Moore and Charles families of Sab, Beverly Charles and family in Trinidad, Veronica, Dorothy, Betty and Serlin in Barbados, Judith Charles and family, the Chaitin family of Tivoli, the Alexander family in the USA, Auntie Winnie and family in the USA, Jacqueline Garrott and family, Sharon and members of the St. Matthew's Roman Catholic Church. The funeral service for the late Cynthia Teresa Lucy Langdon Gary of Harford Village, St. Andrew, will be held on Saturday, 26th June in the USA. Arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Dennis Curtis Lett, also known as Cocoa Leaf of Corinth, who resided at Providence, St. David, passed away on Monday, 7th June 2021, at the age of 59. He was the father of Troy Samuel, brother of Dyke Lett, Benedict Jeremiah, Solomon Jeremiah, also known as Isaiah, Michael Jeremiah, also known as Joel, Suzanne Jeremiah, Ruth Infante, and Sally and Telesford, brother-in-law of Jorge Infante, Kingsley Telesford, and Althea Jeremiah, nephew of Laura Victor, Sharon Williams, Sandra Williams in St. Croix, Teresa Lynch, Florence Lewis in the United Kingdom, Cynthia Coutain, Joan Thomas in Canada, Cuthbert Lett, Desmond Lett in St. Croix, Kenneth Lett, Errol Bishop, Michael Bishop, and Martin Bishop in Canada. Uncle of 19. Many other close relatives and friends including Sharon Purcell, Lewin Williams, Dawn Bowler, Charmaine Pear, Corinne Williams, Darren Harford, the Jeremiah, Lett, Bagwan and Bishop families of St. David, Theory, Miss Janet and Evie, and friends and neighbors of Dudmar, Providence, Syracuse and Corinth, St. David. The funeral service for the late Dennis Curtis Lett, also known as Cocoa Leaf of Corinth, who resided at Providence, St. David, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Patricia Teresa Lacroix, also known as Patsy Lacroix, of Mount Airy, St. George, passed away on Monday, 7th June 2021, at the age of 71. She was the mother of Clarence and Anderson, also known as Andy in the USA, Stanton in the UK, and Dolores Lacroix in Grenada. Grandmother of 5, great-grandmother of 4, sister of Dorothy Brown, Beverly Simon, Anna Lacroix, Christine St. John, Lucy Bullen, Eric, Thomas, Kezar, and Carl Lacroix. In-laws including Nicolette, Bernadette, and V. Niece of Byron Paul and Louisa Paul Mitchell. Aunt of many including Shawnee Lacroix, Suzanne Stewart, Rosalind Salfali, Nigel and Glenna Lacroix, Samantha St. John, Amanda McEwen, and Harriet. Many other relatives and friends, including Suzanne James, Wilma Delfish, Mr. and Mrs. Pascal, Mr. and Mrs. Phillip, Louise Redhead, Hazel Arnold, George Robinson, Anne Pear, Angela Phillip, the Filbert family of Marley, Eslyn Dupre, members of the Montparan Spiritual Baptist Church, and friends and neighbours of Mount Airy and surrounding areas. The funeral service for the late Patricia Teresa Lacroix, also known as Patsy Lacroix of Mount Airy St. George, will be held privately. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Reverend Robinson John Thomas, also known as Robbie, of Corinth St. David, who resided at Victoria St. Mark, former pastor of the Victoria Pentecostal Church, passed away on Monday 14th June 2021 at the age of 62. He was the husband of Marjorie Thomas, brother of Rennie Filbert in Canada, nephew of Mildred Thomas, son-in-law of Jane Elcock, brother-in-law of Edris Filbert in Canada, Geraldine Victor and Menno Elcock in the USA, Vida Hope in Barbados, Monica Isaac, Ruth Scott, Varen Elcock, Rachel Worm, Lois Plenty, Lincoln, Husent and Tyndale Elcock. Uncle of Randy, Elvin and Garvin Filbert in Canada. Many cousins, other relatives and friends including Netta Anders Baisden, Catherine Paris, Godwin, Godfrey, Bernard and Keisha, Pastor Hayden Young and members of the Victoria Pentecostal Church, Bishop Christopher Baker, Bishop Dave King, Reverend Leroy Penny, Reverend Samuel Niles, the Pentecostal Pastoral Fraternity, and members of the Pentecostal Assemblies of the West Indies, the Community of Victoria and Corinth, and friends in Trinidad and Tobago. The funeral of the late Reverend Robinson John Thomas, also known as Robbie, of Corinth St. David, who resided at Victoria St. Mark, will be held at a later date. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Rennie Matthew, also known as Tatty and Drizzle, of Moran, who resided at Woodford St. John, passed away on Friday 18th June 2021 at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements for the late Rennie Matthew, also known as Tatty and Drizzle, of Moran, who resided at Woodford St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. David Ronald Norsis, also known as Doc of Grenville St. Andrew, who resided at Hopevale St. George, passed away on Thursday 17th June 2021 at the age of 46. The funeral arrangements for the late David Ronald Norsis, also known as Doc, of Grenville St. Andrew, who resided at Hopevale St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Louisa Johnson, née Noel, of Mongelou St. George, a resident of the Grand Anse Home for the Aged, died on Tuesday 15th June 2021 at the age of 93. The funeral arrangements for the late Louisa Johnson, née Noel, of Mongelou St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Thomas Frank Norrie of Vendham St. George passed away on Sunday 13th June 2021 at the age of 90. The funeral arrangements for the late Thomas Frank Norrie of Vendham St. George will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacroix Brothers Funeral Homes. Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chikambu of Moran St. John, died on Sunday 13th June 2021 at the age of 92. The funeral arrangements for the late Joseph Roy Raymond, also known as Chikambu of Moran St. John, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. John Joseph, also known as Painter and Whitehead, of River Road St. George, passed away on Wednesday 16th June 2021 at the age of 77. The funeral arrangements for the late John Joseph, also known as Painter and Whitehead, of River Road St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, St. George, who resided at John Anglais, St. George, passed away on Monday, 7th June 2021, at the age of 38. The funeral arrangements for the late Lindy Skinner of Hopevale, who resided at John Anglais, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Cooleybo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, passed away on Saturday, 5th June 2021, at the age of 53. The funeral arrangements for the late Benedict Dominic Philip, also known as Cooleybo, of Tivoli St. Andrew, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Ravi Chevy Batiste of New Hampshire, St. George, died on Wednesday, 9th June 2021, at the age of 34. The funeral arrangements for the late Ravi Chevy Batiste of New Hampshire, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Phyllis Veronica Paul of Pomerose, St. David, passed away on Saturday, 12th June 2021 at Pomerose, St. David, at the age of 91. The funeral arrangements for the late Phyllis Veronica Paul of Pomerose, St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Ronald Ivan David, also known as Mr. David, of Lauriston, Carriacou, passed away on Friday, 4th June 2021, at the age of 97. The funeral arrangements for the late Ronald Ivan David, also known as Mr. David, of Lauriston, Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Malmount, St. David, passed away on Saturday, 5th June 2021, at the age of 43. The funeral arrangements for the late Loxley Murray, also known as Cooley, of Rucane, who resided at Malmount, St. David, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home. Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth, of Limlek, Carriacou, passed away on Monday, 14th June 2021, at the age of 88. The funeral arrangements for the late Theodora Cox, also known as Jacinth, of Limlek, Carriacou, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Richard Logan of River Road, St. George, passed away on Monday, 7th June 2021, at the age of 52. The funeral arrangements for the late Richard Logan of River Road, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes. Iona Nicholas Joseph, also known as Anna, of Molinaire, St. George, died on Wednesday, 2nd June 2021, at the age of 82. The funeral arrangements for the late Iona Nicholas Joseph, also known as Anna, of Molinaire, St. George, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements entrusted to Bailey's Funeral Home.
Nigel Hamilton, also known as Nigel Wilson Anzaki of Beauséjour, Carriacou, resided in New York, died on Monday, the 17th of May, at the age of 59. Funeral arrangements for the late Nigel Hamilton, also known as Nigel Wilson Anzaki, will be given in a subsequent broadcast. Funeral arrangements have been entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Home.
A memorial service for the late Mr. Matthew Phillip, also known as Charlie and Movie, Concord St. John, privately held. A special thanks to his sister Ennis John, Brenda, Krishna, Ruth, Lasmi, Bert, the John, Williams, Philip, Rache, Honoré, Welch and Louisor families, and friends and relatives both in Grenada and abroad. Arrangements were entrusted to Lacqua Brothers Funeral Homes.
The management and staff of MTV extend deepest condolences to those of you whose loved ones have passed on. Thanks for watching.
I am Godwill James, an MD and a member of Gateway Assembly. Medically, death is regarded as an end or a cessation of life. Different groups view death in different perspectives. While some regard death as a continuation of life, others view it as an infeeble form of life. As a Christian, we may want to view death as a separation of the soul from the body. So, whichever way one may view death, I want to say that may the gentle soul of the faithful departed rest in the bosom of the Lord. Amen.